Welcome back to Power and Revolution 2019 edition, guys, with our China playthrough. I believe this is episode 4. In the last episode, I did talk to you guys about what I figured out about the commandos being broken in this playthrough as well. Maybe just in this update, for all I know. And so I spent some time thinking after recording that last episode, and I kind of decided the way I'm going to handle war, since it can't be cheesed, essentially, is I'm going to try to play this the way real-life China is trying to play their aggression in real life. And now what I mean by that is, so there's only so much the game lets me do. This game doesn't let me do what China's doing, just walk into some part of India and then claim it while not actually fighting a war over it, but, just staying there anyway. The game doesn't have that much depth. It's not going to allow you to do that much, but essentially, they try to play the international organization thing. They try to play international treaties, so at least at the start, up through hopefully the entirety of 2020, I am going to try to get dirt on people I want to invade before I invade them. If we get to the year 2020 and it's still not going well, maybe before then, just depends how it goes. We don't know what's going to happen in this playthrough. If we have no luck, then I will say fuck it and go full aggression mode anyway. In the meantime, though, we do have a lot of stuff we can work on domestically in self-developing our own country so that it becomes an unstoppable beast come the time of war. And one of the things we can do is set up popularity gains in advance, and also bonuses to research through, as we're looking at right now, more space programs, especially ones that we have not done before. Now, we just set up another one at the end-ish of the last episode, and nobody was really willing to chip in to the cost of the program we tried to set up, but we'll still test it this time around. I'm going to set this to $170 million for the Living on the International Space Station program. International School Station. I don't know. I'm not original. I'm going to see how they react to this. And we also do have to do the living long term on the ISS. Just set this up in advance. Get one and done, basically. All right, so that's getting set up already. We're just going to go one at a time here. As you see here, we have some weird situation with our electricity. We have a negative import-export balance of electricity, even though our production is above our consumption, yet we have a surplus of 1 or 2. I don't really get this, so I do want to fix this. This looks like something that can be fixed pretty damn easily. So we're going to go ahead and set up some onshore wind, kind of like we did playing as Brazil. China has a lot of good territory for solar, but solar takes a lot more manpower to build, a lot more money overall. Onshore wind is just cheap and very efficient. So we're going to try to place it on some locations where we essentially have an excuse to place it. Maybe over here, if something like this works, just right off the coast. The best we're going to find from what I've seen is good, so we're just looking for good. Right here, you can see good. Does this island here? You can't even use this island. So we're gonna set it up right here, and I should only need to set up 1 or 2. I think I'll set up 2, and I'll put them pretty close by each other. I do hate when you have one setting up this is now unusable for whatever reason. Let's see okay, this is usable right here. Is this still good? Yes, there you go. All right. So I'm just going to set those 2 up because it says I am producing more than I'm consuming, so I'm going to trust that and assume I don't need to actually make very much. They don't cost the most excessive amount to build. I'll show you guys. The manpower is small, 900, number to build 500, cost over 5 years, annual reimbursement. It's not much. It's not much. Our manpower is huge. And when these finish, which will take half a year, we'll get to see just how this affects things. Its production is not nearly as good as it was when I was playing Brazil, but most of the country is good for solar. Not as much of it is good for wind, and wind is cheaper, so I'm going to go with wind. It's just better for the price overall. Also, the oil tanker port. Here's another thing I didn't really understand. I still don't fully understand what an oil tanker port does. I know it moves oil. especially for exporting oil. But when you're not exporting oil, I don't know what it does. I don't know if it's good for importing oil as well, but I'm thinking of setting one up just so I have one in case later in the playthrough I become an oil exporting nation. I know I will have none for any of this. Might have some in a country I take over, but it might be good to have. So I've picked a location and I've done some scouting. We're going to go ahead and we are going to set up this oil tanker port right in this location over here. You can place it out at sea pretty much wherever you want. I don't really know how that works. I know it's supposed to be close to a source where it can receive stuff. So we're going to put it close to around here, kind of near this regular port. So let's place this here, and we can see how our minister reacts to it. We could draw some conclusions. It will greatly improve the situation and help us streamline business. The location is a bad choice. It has large infrastructure nearby. Oil terminal. So I wonder if that means that these ports also transport oil. I don't know. But I am making one, which is better than none. I did some looking around to see where we had oil, and I didn't necessarily see much of any in the south. The map of it actually does seem a little different than when I started the game for whatever reason. But yeah, if you look at the south, there's not a lot here. But there is some I noticed in the north. There are locations that have an average amount. If we come over to this area, we have weak, but up here it should be about average. Yes. So I am thinking of placing some regular oil. I do want to place regular oil before I start going into shale oil because at least that can be exported, you know? So let's take a look into placing one. We can only have 5 in every location. So we want to get this as close to the city as possible. We can get one over here. All right, so let's set one up right here. Oh, incorrect position. And average. All right, let's place one down. That's 1. We're going to want 5 in a location to get the best performance, the optimal performance out of it. Oh, I can't place it there. Incorrect position. What's stopping me? That's 1. That's 2. Let's get a third one down right about here. 3. We did have good production up here. 4. And what about over here? 5. Okay, cool. So we have 5 getting set up for this province right here. That is the max that you can really have for any province without starting to split the production around. So if we do end up having enough to export and it's going to go through a terminal, this is the terminal it's going to go through. And that average production goes pretty much for all around here. So I just figured that this would be a good port altogether anyway. It's a high-speed train going through here. It looks like it skips past the city, doesn't it? It looks really like it skips past the city, which is weird. That being said, I don't fully understand how the cargo situation works. I know that planes also help. I don't know if ports take over when you don't have oil ports, but either way, we'll find out. They're talking to me about internet. Right. Let's not forget there is an internet side of this, as you can see. This is what it looks like right now. We will improve it later. We're not going to work on it right now. Commandos are the future, except they don't work. And January, February, March, April. Oh, we're already to the next quarter. We had a $458 billion cash surplus. Let's see what that looks like. We still have a budget excess of $281 billion, which is really good. That means our debt will be shrinking this entire time. Let's take a look at our debt, actually. And who do we owe the most to? Our own people, and then France, the US. That's not bad. Total debt, as you can see, is going down. Percentage of the GDP is already down a couple percent, and it should hopefully just keep getting better and better. Oh, look, the Great Wall of China. Huh. I didn't realize it was so far south. But I guess this right here is Inner Mongolia, so that makes sense. And we have a partial dismantlement here of the Tibet Autonomous League. Let's take a look. And they're still around. 3,900 followers, still tons of sympathizers. As we can take a look over here, we can see our growth has gone down even more. But unemployment has gone down even more as well. I have to say, that's pretty surprising. That's kind of unusual. Usually growth goes down and unemployment goes up. To see it going down is really good, in fact. It means we can continue to lower our growth without impediment. I'm not quite sure how or why this has happened, though.
One of my men succeeded.
All
It's
right.
true that the blow
A
cannot
partial
really be described as fatal.
dismantlement of the Xinjiang Uyghur, that's pronounced Uyghur, I believe, front. Let's get another infiltration going. How long have these guys been infiltrated? These guys have been infiltrated for about 2 weeks. This guy for only a few days. Chinese Brethren of Islam. What do you look like, Chinese Brethren of Islam? 118 followers, about 2 million sympathizers. God damn. Let's let that day tick over and set that to dismantle. It's been at least 2 weeks. When our training kicks in more, we can leave our guys in for longer. Start aiming for 3 weeks and then 4 to get better bonuses. Apparently someone I have a connection to has had a bad verdict, a musician, but I don't see my public image getting hurt at all, quite honestly. Anything interesting in the paper? Doesn't look like it. The poo at his height. You bet. Alright, so right here we got a annual growth forecast that's looking pretty nice, 5.65%, pretty accurate to what it was saying. The unemployment stands at 4%. Apparently we started at 6%, so that's good. I guess the growth is just doing so well that even as it decreases, the unemployment it's not enough to get hurt. I'm going to go here. I'm going to change the interest rate to 7.5%. Another slight tick up because, of course, inflation is still chasing our growth. And ironically, improving our economy means we have to keep stifling our growth. But the good thing is when you do raise the key interest rate, it's kind of like, and I know this isn't exactly accurate, especially in real life, but it is similar to storing growth in the bank for when you need it later. So you raise that up to 20%, or you use an international monetary organization to get it past 20%, and now you just have all that just in case the market takes a gigantic hit. You just lower it if you have nothing else you can do, and all of a sudden, bam. So maybe I will actually keep increasing it. Of course, it isn't the best for businesses, but we are doing things that are still pretty damn good for businesses. All right, the next thing that we were denationalizing in energy has been denationalized. I believe that was wind energy, or that was nuclear energy, actually. 3G. We're going to go to regular nuclear energy and do the same. One at a time. Keep the train going. So I did come over here and look at this electricity screen, by the way, and I see we do have a very clear positive trade balance. So our production of electricity shouldn't really be an issue, I don't think. Now one thing I didn't do playing as Brazil that I may do now is I may decide to go ahead and, dismantle fossil energy or nuclear or biomass, something like that, replace it with wind or something. I haven't decided on that. Right now, it's not like a priority goal. It's not necessary. There's little that would benefit me from doing that. I mean, you come over here and what it's going to affect right here especially is this global warming thing right here. Can get rid of biomass, and that would get rid of deforestation, get rid of fossil fuels, and it would get rid of this right here. But that's not something one country alone can contribute to, of course. If we come over here, we look at the emissions list, however, we are up at the top. So we are definitely more in control than a lot of other countries are. Actually, it looks like than most any country in the world is. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. When I played as Brazil, our pollution was so insignificant. Here, it actually makes a difference. Oh, we're reforesting too. That's nice. We're actually reforesting. We're not even deforesting land, even with some biomass going on. Hey, at least we're doing that. As Brazil, we were deforesting like crazy. Oh, look at this. Kim Jong-un wants to make this is not Kim Jong-un, it's Q Jung-jim, wants to make a meeting, and the International School Station, that's such a stupid name, is ready for me to review. Let's take a look. And people just know. No, they just want me to pay them to include them. How about go fuck yourself? Let's throw all of the funding in here. And we're going to need a different launch date. First, we're going to... What is this set for? 12/9/2019, end of the year. 2020, 2, 2, 1, 12, 29, no, 2, 5. 5th day of the 2nd month of 2020. And let's approve the program because people are going to be big, stupid buttheads about that. But I'll always give them, the chance, right? I'm always going to give them the chance to not be a stupid butthead. I think that's pretty reasonable. Speaking of, the long-term international space. And we're going to set this to 400. And we are going to create that space program next. And let that go by. And just kind of pace it out one by one like that. But not episode by episode like we did as Brazil. Keep on a pretty steady pace. How's this doing? This has been here since the 6th. It's been, a week, 2 weeks? About 2 weeks. I'll try leaving him in there for 3 weeks. See how that goes. Alright, so we got our meeting over here with not Kim Jong-un.
I didn't come empty-handed. In fact, I wanted you to see...
And that is totally what he sounds like. Yep. He wants an economic contract. As opposed to the start of my Brazil playthrough, I bet you guys are pretty surprised. Almost no contracts at all, but that's because our economy just is so amazing from the start. I actually need to suppress it more than expand it. But let's see what you want, Kim Jong-un. You want to sell me liquor. Your sale price is better than my purchase price. Your production is garbage, but my production is almost covers everything I need. You only want to sell me 6.6, which is extremely insignificant. It would be a better price, Well, it could be a better price, not with the price that you're handing me. Let's bring that down to 9. It's so insignificant, I might as well take it. Let's send that over. 9, no? No, you're not going to do 9? About 9.5. No? Alright, let's try 10. Negotiate. Almost there. 10.5. Alright, 10.5. A little bit of a cheaper price on a very minuscule amount of goods here. It can secure some relations with North Korea. Let's see, what did we get with them? We have no treaty. Oh, that's right. We didn't have dark green with them, so I didn't try to get a treaty. Let's go for alliance. Nah, of course not, because we still don't have dark green. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything with them. I can try that little trick. Nope. Yeah. So we're going to need better relations with them before anything like that happens. There's a new head of the Republic of North Macedonia. Does this guy like me? He doesn't like me very much, but North Macedonia, FYROM, formerly known as FYROM. These guys are usually not on the hottest terms with NATO. I think they joined NATO in real life after the start of 2019. So I don't think they're in 2019 in this game. I don't think they're part of NATO. So I might as well congratulate the new guy. It's so weird that I'm getting asked this. I never got asked this as Brazil. I'm not familiar with this. ICT infrastructure is inadequate. Your mom's inadequate. Let me tell you. Infiltrated agent was spotted and murdered. Please. Okay, that wasn't the guy that was already there. Let's try that again. How long has this guy been in here now? A little over 2 weeks. See, I get nervous when they get caught like that, so I'm just going to go ahead and dismantle this again. It's a little longer than 2 weeks. That was like 2 weeks, a couple days, 2.5 weeks. Libya looks like a hellhole. Right now, if we take a look, our share of the GDP is looking pretty nice. Growth looking pretty nice still. Unemployment is improving. It disimproved. It de-improved. It deproved. I don't even remember the word I'm looking for when I mess with the key interest rate again, but it's getting better again, surprisingly.
One of my men.
I do want to set up more oil because I do want us to be good on oil. Let me just, as a quick check, is there gas in these areas as well? Where there's a good amount of oil. It doesn't seem like there's a decent amount. It's all weak. But we do need gas. We're not positive on gas either. And if I can get it not as shale, that would be great. Everything in this area, at least, is weak. I don't think there is anywhere in the country where it's normal. Or if there is, I just, I haven't found it yet. Yeah, no. It's all weak. But weak is better than very weak. Very weak means pretty much nothing. Weak means, well, at least you're working with something here. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting some of this up, I think, in the same location that I set up these oil facilities. Let's say right here for one. Right over... I saw I could place it around here. Here you go. Oh, damn, that's a very narrow location to place it. Right here for two. This is a very small province, so squeezing everything in here isn't the easiest. Let's go right here for three. This is going to be a very industry-packed province at this rate. Let's try over here for 4. Oh, no. 4. And let's look for number 5. Let's try maybe down here. Or let's get away from the coast. Here for 4, or 5, sorry. Awesome, so now we're building some of those. Oh?
Scientific rigor has proved its superiority.
Looks like we got rid of the Chinese Democratic Movement. We did. We've completely gotten rid of the Chinese Democratic Movement.
Cell informs me that it has had
an informer from Mongolia. Sure. You know, I really don't know who the first nation I would get any dirt on would end up being. I don't know if it would be Mongolia or anyone like this. When you play someone like China, your opponents tend to be not so devious. But either way, if I can play internationally, I will do it. Just to kind of role play as real life China. Otherwise, I will just become what everyone fears real life China will end up being like. If this continues. North Korean, what do you expect of these two? It's obvious they look alike. Your mom looks alike. Shut up. Anything in the paper? Nothing important. A whole bunch of shit just, like, exploded all at once. First off, we have the National Video Games Organization's president complaining that it's impossible to participate in esports competitions because of our low-end connection, because we're getting kicked from MMOs. Even online poker will be difficult to play. Don't forget, a happy gamer is a happy voter. You know, you have a point. I'm curious about that. There's a way to check that. Average internet speed. 4.81 megabits. That's pretty terrible. Of course, hasn't changed. We haven't done anything. What's the USA at? Ooh, they're not very high, are they? Of course, they're a big country. Where is the USA? I probably passed over them. Imagine if they were behind me. No, they're going to be higher. Here we go, 16.4. Yeah, I could do with some better coverage, but we have just gotten so many technologies researched. A long mail plane. 250 passenger capacity. Awesome. Let's keeping everything for ourselves. Japan discovers the e-paper. Kept it confidential. They've discovered artificial analysis and vision. Kept it confidential. And Japan discovered robotic motorization and artificial limbs and kept it confidential. Those bitches. I haven't put any more money into research yet. Trust me, I will. Believe me when I say I will. But real leaders don't work that fast, and I'm not going to either, for reasons you may remember from my Brazil playthrough. And someone has been assassinated.
There's no doubt about that. But
Alright. Well, that's interesting. Terrorism. That's sad. I guess my police budget is to blame for that either way. Looks like our unemployment continues to improve. Our inflation isn't increasing very much right now. Growth is still a little stagnant. Very good. So I am thinking into getting into making military equipment in our country so that we can start expanding our military. Fun fact, we already have the most fighter planes in the world at the start of the game, and they are the best quality, which is insanely unrealistic for China, but as this game goes. I do not want to own this sector as I do this, though, so I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead and get that out of the way now, even though my other sector I was denationalizing, I don't think has left the house. Wait a minute. Has it? I don't think it has. Maybe it just recently did. It was nuclear energy. Oh, it has gone through. It has gone through. Interesting. I am going to go to over here. And aircraft carrier is not actually active, so let's go ahead and try to make that active. I nationalized it specifically for this reason. This is also going to be fully nationalized. I'm surprised I guess I didn't want to rush it earlier. We have to do the same with diamonds as well. We have already done this with submarines, diamonds. Let's get diamonds fully nationalized. Anything else down here? The tire industry needs a little jump start, it looks like, to get going. Scheduled liftoff for the Chang'e 5 space program. And now, which one is that? It's none of the ones I made, because that has a real name. Chang'e 5. This is our task to go to the moon. I still didn't get this exactly perfect. Can I push this back and then get a better result? Not very much. Not very much. When does that launch? On the 11th? Damn. Can I really improve that at all? 10, 16 million. Let's just try to throw an extra 16 million in there and throw the date back to the end of the month to see how that goes. Maybe I can get it down to 0%.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating Key Center.
I don't know why I'm throwing
According
10 million
to my
into it, actually. That's a very low
informational
amount.
gain.
That's very, very... I just did the math there, and that's actually not going to make a fucking difference at all. But I can't increase the budget any further. Anyway, so good thing I pushed it back at least. And with success, we now have the tire industry running again, and the aircraft sector running again. And we just had a disaster! Oh, God. Okay, that's a flood. Dude, that looks like a fucking nuke. I guess that's a tree. I guess that's a tree. It looks like a fucking nuke, though. What kind of spending do we have on flood protection? Not the craziest amount, but we do have lower things. I will take this excuse to go ahead and boost some spending in some areas and environment. I'm trying not to do too much spending while I'm still in debt. But that prevention makes disasters like this a lot less bad. Flooding in Beijing. Heh. Sounds almost like something that is kind of happening in real life, potentially. Hopefully we have enough prevention. But yeah, we're not making enough money yet for me to just start pouring a bunch of stuff in there. That being said, we do thankfully have a budget excess for right now, and it is helping us get through our debt. Also, some terrorist organization did come out and claim responsibility for killing that guy. And thank you for taking care of ecology. You guys hate me, though.
One of my men succeeded in infiltrating Key Center.
What did I do? Oh, I guess by increasing the environmental spending. You just liked that, huh? This guy's been infiltrated here for at least 2 weeks. We're moving into another day, and let's set him to dismantle. Agent infiltrated. Good. We're getting some good luck working on the terrorists. Soon they will all be gone. We got our first agent in another country. Our first source in Mongolia. And looks like this space program is ready for review. It's probably going to be the same thing, for being honest. Yeah, it's just the same thing. They're being dickheads. So we are going to fund the rest ourselves. There you go. And we are going to change the date into a date that is not going to be just got. This has to be a lot later in the year. This has to be like the end of 2020, or was the other one already in 2021? I forget. But let's set it to the 10th of 2021 and approve that program. There we go. Now that, let me check the other one. When is this? No, this is the beginning of 2020. So yeah, that other one is going to be a lot later. So how about we end this episode setting up another program, but I got to find one I want to set up. So I know what I'm going to do. I looked through it, and this right here is the program that holds us back on a lot of other things we can do. It's also the one, as you see, we're missing the technology for. The US has it, I know that. I'm actually going to set this up, and here's why. The budget that goes into making these things happen is also spent on the technology research. So if you ever need to boost research in a specific technology for space programs, other than just raising the amount of researchers and spending in space tech, you can set up the program that needs the tech And that will end up boosting your research speed and efficiency in acquiring it. So I am going to set it up. So Super Saiyan rockets. And we're going to set this to be something like 6 billion. 50% funded, just to see if anyone wants to come. I'm gonna give everyone the chance to, right? Oh, not just the US, Russia has it too, actually. Funny thing, if I let one of them come on board, I think they actually give me the tech, but I want to develop it myself. So let's hit create on this, and we'll end up taking a look at this next episode. And then we're going to set the launch date way back so that we have enough time to research that technology. But for now, guys, that's another full episode. We've gone through a couple more months in game, some more development. We unfortunately have a natural disaster, which encouraged me to spend more against protecting against some natural disasters. But otherwise, it's going pretty well. Economics are looking better and better each day. Unemployment's just going down and down and down. The only thing bringing it up are the times where I increase my interest rate. So we're probably going to have to do a bit more of that, or going to want to do a bit more of that anyway. Or actually, there is something else I can do, and that is raise the retirement age, which would boost growth. But until growth is at a more reasonable level and inflation is completely under control, which, by the way, inflation hasn't gone up in a while. But until I can confirm it's dropping or otherwise, completely 100% under control, then I want to avoid encouraging growth, because the more the retirement age goes up, the more people enter the economy, the more there are to subtract from unemployment. But we'll see how we go about it. That only really matters if I end up making more jobs, which I inevitably will. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.